Xin Chao, welcome back to the channel where we unravel the darkest corners of folklore and legends. I'm MC Name, your guide through 10 years of spine-chilling storytelling on YouTube. Tonight we dive into a figure that haunted our childhoods in Vietnam, Ông Kẹ, or as some call him, Ông Ba Bị. A monstrous man with a sack, ready to snatch naughty children who dare wander at night. Is he just a tale to scare kids, or does something darker lurk behind this legend? Grab your blanket, dim the lights, and let's uncover the truth, if you dare. If you grew up in Vietnam, you've heard of Ông Kẹ or Ông Ba Bị. Parents would warn, be good or Ông Ba Bị will come with his sack and take you away. This terrifying figure is a staple of Vietnamese childhood, a boogeyman who preys on disobedient kids. But who is he really? Picture this, a hulking man, grotesque and ragged, with a twisted face that sends shivers down your spine. He's said to have 9 straps on his sack and 12 eyes watching every move. His name alone could hush a crying child in seconds. But Ông Ba Bị isn't just a random scary story. His origins are rooted in something far more sinister. Let me tell you about Min, a boy who loved sneaking out at night. One evening his mother warned, "Stay inside or Ông Ba Bị will get you." Min laughed it off and ran to the river. Under the moonlight he heard a rustling, then saw a tall figure with a sack. Its eyes, too many to count, stared right at him. Min bolted home, never wandering at night again. So where did Ông Ba Bị come from? Let's travel back to the 17th and 18th centuries along Vietnam's coast. According to legend, kidnappers roamed these shores, targeting children to sell or worse. They worked in groups of 3, each carrying a sack with 3 straps, hence Ba Bị, Chin Quai, or 3 sacks, 9 straps. With 6 men in total, that's Moi Hai Con Mat, 12 eyes watching their prey. The Vietnam To Dien from 1931 describes Ba Bị as a monstrous figure invented to scare kids, but also a metaphor for something tattered and ugly, like Do Ba Bị junk. Over time, these real-life fears of kidnappers morphed into the boogeyman we know today, a cautionary tale parents use to keep kids safe. Ông Ba Bị isn't unique to Vietnam. Across the world, cultures have their own boogeymen to scare kids into behaving. In Spain, it's El Hombre del Saco, the sack man. In Germany, Krampus punishes naughty children. But in Vietnam, Ông Ba Bị's sack and eerie presence make him uniquely terrifying. He's not just a monster, he's a symbol of parental protection, a way to shield kids from real dangers. Even today, Ông Ba Bị lives on. Ask any Vietnamese adult and they'll tell you how his name stopped their tantrums cold. For kids now, the mention of Ông Ba Bị still sparks fear, or at least curiosity. He's become more than a legend. He's a cultural icon, a phrase parents toss out almost like a reflex. But some say he's more than a story. In quiet villages, whispers persist of a figure with a sack, seen in the dead of night. Linh thought Ông Ba Bị was just a silly tale. But one night, alone in her room, she heard a strange dragging sound. Peeking out, she saw a tall figure with a sack, its head turning toward her window. Linh hid, heart pounding, until dawn. The next day, her grandmother found strange marks in the dirt outside, like something heavy had been dragged. Coincidence? Or was Ông Ba Bị closer than Linh thought? Ông Kẹ Ông Ba Bị, a name that's haunted generations, from coastal kidnappers to the boogeyman in our nightmares. Is he just a tale to keep kids in line, or does something sinister still lurk in the shadows? One thing's for sure, his legend will never die. Thanks for joining me on this chilling journey. What's your scariest childhood memory of Ông Ba Bị? Share.